It is now time to wage the ultimate war. Polar Express versus Mad Max Fury Road. Okay, so I know what you all are thinking. Seth Lewis, what does Polar Express possibly have in common with Mad Max Fury Road? And my answer is, besides the fact that I like both of these movies, is that they have some very strange similarities. Mainly for me, that they're both more about the spectacle of film than like the concept or the story. So I thought it'd just be cool to have this apocalypse movie and this Christmas movie battle it out and see which one is the superior. So, Merry Christmas to you all. Let's find out why this is going to be a lovely day on Versus. So, to be honest, both the characters in Mad Max Fury Road and Polar Express are pretty bland. Mad Max Fury Road's characters just don't seem to have really much of a personality. I mean, I can't even really distinguish those girls apart. I mean, people talk about how in the Hobbit movies the dwarves are hard to tell apart. I don't know anything about those girls except one of them likes to carry a gun. And, you know, the only really interesting character in Fury Road is basically that bald guy who screams out, "Oh, what a lovely day, what a lovely day!" That's really the only character I cared about. The rest of them could die for all I cared. They have nothing for me to follow with. Now, the characters in Polar Express are also kind of bland, but there is something about them. There's just this simplicity to them, I guess is the best way of putting it. The boy is looking to believe in something, the girl is looking for adventure, the boy is looking for a miracle, and that is kind of a personality, that is something to go off of. And you notice it very well in the Polar Express. So, I'm gonna have to say that the Polar Express does have better characters. Now it's time to talk about story. And again, these are more spectacle films. They're not really about the storytelling process. Mad Max Fury Road has a pretty predictable story. You know that they're going to have the race and they're going to be driving around in their cars and they're going to survive the stunts that they're getting themselves into. And in the end of the movie, the bad guy is going to be killed and that they're all going to go and they're going to celebrate. The only little twist is that Max leaves at the end. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty straightforward action-adventure movie. Now, the Polar Express kind of doesn't have a very, it doesn't have a very interesting plot, but it kind of has one that is more likely to surprise you. For instance, I have no idea that when I start watching the Polar Express that it's going to end with the boy being able to hear the bell ringing because he believes in Santa Claus. I would never have guessed that was how it was going to end. So, yeah, there's a much more twist in the Polar Express. So, yeah, I guess Polar Express has a better story, too. Yet, the final thing I want to talk about is idea. And the ideas behind both of these films are very powerful. I don't really have a problem with the ideas themselves. Mad Max Fury Road talks about some really deep subjects and some very touchy subjects, too. It talks about feminism, it talks about terrorism, and they do a pretty good job handling these issues, I personally think. And the movie Polar Express is all about belief. And a lot of people make the assumption, this is about believing in Santa Claus. And to you people I say, you are dumb. This movie is not about believing in Santa Claus. It's about faith in something that you can't prove. And whether or not you believe that we shouldn't believe something unless we have the evidence, you have to admit that there is still a lot of controversy about this. I mean, even in the field of science, taking God and magic away, there's plenty of things where we're like, we should believe this scientific idea because it could help us advance, but we don't actually have any proof of it. So, yeah, the Polar Express message is one that's very universal and doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. And Mad Max Fury Road's discussions are kind of about current events a lot and about what's going on in our country right now. So, yeah, Polar Express has the better ideas, too. So, I guess Polar Express wins. I'm sorry, folks. I know a lot of you all are going to think I'm sacrilegious for saying that, but it's just the truth. Polar Express happens to be one of my top 20 favorite films, and honestly, I don't see how it's any worse than Mad Max Fury Road. To be honest, Mad Max Fury Road did a lot of great things for film. And it did a lot of great stunts and stuff, and I think that's why critics liked it, because it dazzled their eyes. But Polar Express did a lot of stuff for animation, too, so I don't see what the critics are going on with Mad Max Fury Road. I don't understand why it's considered the greatest film. It's kind of a mystery. It does a lot wrong and gets away with it. And that would be fine, but the Polar Express does the exact same things and isn't allowed to get away with it. So yeah, I like Mad Max Fury Road, but I can't say that I'm in love with it. And I have to say that Polar Express is the better movie. So just, please don't kill me in the comments, and remember to think big and very differently.